Hello folks, how's it going? Welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 999, and the next chapter literally is 1000, so the countdown is just about up. It's coming out in the next issue, it doesn't, after the end of this chapter, it doesn't say there's a break. I'm assuming there is, considering next week is around the Christmas holidays, so we'll have to wait and see. Chapter 999 was informative, and we learned a lot about Ace and Yamato's connection and how it correlates into what's happening right now. There's a lot of foreshadowing, there's a lot of parallels. I think we jumped the gun a little bit in assuming that Kaido fought Ace. That turns out that didn't happen. In fact, the two didn't even meet each other, which is kind of a shame because I was kind of hoping it'd have some tie into the fight with Luffy and Kaido. But we're gonna do. We do get to learn a lot more about Ace and Yamato though, which is pretty cool. One Piece Undercover Weekly Show Jump, shocker I know, but we got a bunch of characters: Ace, Luffy, Don Krieg for some reason, Boa Hancock, Chopper, Bellamy, Tashigi, Moria. In the next chapter 1000, we're going to get the biggest colour spread in One Piece history, so can't wait to see what that looks like. But we start the chapter off with Ace and Yamato in a flashback, and I guess it was right. The end of the last chapter transitioned into the flashback. So it starts off with Ace and Yamato actually colliding because I guess Ace already came to kill for Kaido's head because of what happened, because of all the slays going on here. So he's causing destruction around the Flower Capital. So I guess Ace's crew is tending to the rest of the kids. So Ace goes on ahead and beats up with Yamato. They fight, they clash, and I find it interesting that Yamato is on Ace's level, which is pretty impressive. Ace charges in, uses Fire Fist to attack Yamato. She blocks it with the mace, which is cool. I don't know if she's using that in Haki. I don't think it was a good thing that Haki. It doesn't look like Haki was used in this battle, which is a good thing because we never knew that Ace had it. We know he had Conqueror's Haki. But once they clashed, Yamato's like, "Yo, father set out on a mission." So I'm curious because he did set out. He actually had a confrontation with Shanks before the war, but and keep in mind this flashback took place 4 years ago. The Marineford happened 2 years ago, so if you count that, 2 years are apart from when Ace gets executed. And like on top of that, it doesn't like Ace is a part of the White Beard Pirates yet, and Ace gets the lowdown that Yamato's Kaido's daughter, although she's like defending the island. So, by the way, I guess King or Queen are also with Kaido because they don't appear, and I guess she's opposed to the destruction and everything. But then Ace, like, I guess Ace has the same thing that Luffy. He's aware of other people's feelings because he was calling out Yamato for like. Ace actually compliments Yamato's strength. Like, I refuse to believe that someone as strong as you isn't even a captain. So that's and Ace again compliments I guess the shackles on her hands, on Yamato's hands. He also mentions heart's been bound as well. So I guess that's what triggers Yamato to like befriend Ace because they attack each other. And you actually see Yuki, and I think they attack the actual statue dragon that we saw in the previous chapter. So we didn't know that Yamato also just tried to destroy it either. We just found out that Ace did it. But Yamato attacked it first, and then Ace just pretty much melted that shit. Kaido's subordinates say you mustn't do that because it's a symbol of Kaido's strength. And then we get the clarification of what Yamato wants. I too want to go out and see. I want to go out at sea and adventures just like Odin. I want to live freely. And there's the clarification, and then they both proceed. Well, Ace pretty much demolishes the statue of the dragon, and then that's how they become friends. They become friends. Don't know if there's any romance there. I guess people are going to ship them. Ace proceeds to pull out sake, and then Yamato wants to know what it's like outside of Wano, much like Odin did. I guess Ace is like he's bragging about himself because it's like none can compare to me, but I've heard there are some dangerous guys wrecking havoc in each of the blues, like Kid in the South Blue, Law in the North Blue. So it's like, how many times are you going to tell me that already, Ace? And Ace is like, I'm going to tell you as many times as I need to, so stop complaining and listen. So I guess Ace is the reason Yamato knows about Luffy. And this is where we go back into the present, and strong as Ace was, I think this chapter confirmed that Ace is nowhere near Kaido's level. I guess he never met Ace. So that's again, it's kind of a shame that didn't happen. So I guess Ace left before Kaido returned. I guess this is where Momonosuke learns about Ace and who he was. This is the clarification that, oh, Momonosuke learns there's a pirate that tried to save Wano besides Luffy. So there's a parallel. So Ace tried to save Wano, and now Luffy's trying to save Wano. The parallels don't stop there, though, folks. So Shinobu was up, and she did hear what Yamato said. I'm glad this got addressed as well. And Momo's also like, oh, father? And Yamato's like, yeah, Kaido's my father. Sorry, I didn't tell you. So that was clarification that they didn't know until that point, which makes it even more of a... I guess it's going to be a moment that goes over a lot of people's heads, but the fact that Momonosuke didn't kick up a storm, or Shinobu, they didn't like put down Yamato for it. I'm glad that it wasn't the case. That kind of needed to get resolved. Yamato needed to mention that so things can move on. So because if Yamato is going to become a retainer, a ally, even an Akuma of the Straw Hats, this needed to happen. So I'm glad this got addressed. I guess Shinobu said, I understand express our gratitude for you treating our wounds. So I thought Shinobu was going to be the one to kick up a storm because she pointed the finger at Law back in Wano Act 2 when Beppo and the others got caught. So I thought she was going to say something about Yamato being related to Kaido. She didn't do that. And I guess she says, like, why are you telling us this now? I guess it's because we need to learn about this, because we need to know about Ace before Luffy ends up like fighting Kaido. And now it makes perfect sense for why Yamato and Tama are both on Onigashima. They're both here to witness it. I said this before and I'll say it again. Like, the only one that's missing right now is Hiyori, because Hiyori needed to see the downfall of Orochi and Kaido. So I still think she's going to play a role. But the fact that Yamato and Tama are both linked to Ace and they're both in Onigashima, so it makes total sense now. Nami and Tama are having a moment about conversation about how Luffy revealed about Ace dying to Tama. It was very insensitive, even though it was addressed here. But Nami, that was just as painful for Luffy as well, and she gives out the reason why. Then we go over to the dome, to where the action's taking place, and finally what the fanfic got Drew. Marco says to Brook and Robin, go on ahead, run up the castle to say to Zoro, you ready? So Zoro hops on, Marco goes into Phoenix mode, and they take a ride. They fly up, so that's pretty cool. While this is going on though, and I thought this was pretty cool, it transitions back into the past with Ace, with Marco. So I thought that was so cool. And we got the fanfic come true. Zoro and Marco, they're going up. They're going up to the top of the skull, I'm sure. Although, if you look at the context of what's happening now, Queen and King are about to make a move. So now things are starting to fall into place. We go back into the past and we go to Whitebeard, and I'm guessing this is where Ace is already a 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. I think it's cool we got this type of information. I think we knew this, but it's always good to have clarification that why the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates had been retired for so long is because nobody stronger than Odin appeared. So I think that's pretty cool that Ace is the one that filled that void. There are some parallels with Luffy and Odin. I guess there's some parallels between Ace and Odin. Ace proceeds to ask Whitebeard. He wants to go back to Wano because to fulfill the promise, and so he can take down Kaido. And I'm assuming at this point Ace is a lot stronger than he was when he previously was on Wano. But we do get some information about why the Whitebeard Pirates did not show up on Wano when Odin fought Kaido. And it's because we only found out about Odin's death several years after the incident, which makes sense. Because if they'd known, they would have gone. Wako proceeds to say, oh, we thought about marching into in the Wano country countless times. However, had they have done that, it would have caused a lot of casualties in Wano. So they tried to avoid that at all costs. So it makes sense. It is kind of a handicap, like Whitebeard showing up to stop Kaido from killing Odin with the execution. Yeah, that would have been plot device. So in order to prevent that, you have the restrictions of the people of Wano being involved as well. Mass collateral damage if Whitebeard ever went to fight Kaido in Wano. And then Whitebeard proceeds to warn Ace about Kaido. So a man that Kazuki Odin couldn't take down, you think you could beat him, don't be so full of yourself. Now, interesting because Whitebeard proceeds to warn Ace about Kaido. He even tried to stop Ace from trying to track down Teach. I think instead it was Shanks that tried to tell Whitebeard, hey, tell Ace to back off, because Blackbeard is no joke. Speaking of which, we see Zia. We see Teach in the background. He's like, Odin was strong, take a big shot down. Marco actually says no. Ace isn't doing this just to acquire fame. He wants to get strong because he wants to fulfill his promise to Yamato and Tama. That just goes to show you how, again, the parallels. You have Izo and Marco saying, next time you go, make sure you take us along. So it's another reason why Izo and Marco are there. Parallels, they're going to help out Luffy, or at least try to. I don't know what Izo's status is, but we know what Marco's doing right now. And it transitions right back into Marco taking Zoro on Marco, so that's pretty cool. It says something very interesting. It's like, if you guys come along, I think we can actually beat Kaido. Like, or just the pirates. And I think Whitebeard is the one that says, really, just how naive are you? We get Tama's reaction, and we got Momonosuke's reaction to the fact that Ace is not only Luffy's brother, but also the son of Raja. So Tama's reaction is priceless. Like, I was too harsh on Luffy. And I love how Nami gets Luffy's characters better than most. She's like, it's all right if it really bothered him, he would have said something back to you. There's a plan that Tama laid out, so we don't get to hear what that is. It just cuts to Momonosuke's reaction. He was the son of Raja. He was also Luffy's big brother. And then Yamato's like, you were the ones that brought Luffy to Wano. So there you go. There's a parallels. And she proceeds to say, I can't think of this anything else but fate. I mean, he even has his name carries the initials of the D. So, and then you have the notebook. So, Odin's notebook. So I thought that was so cool. How it plays a role. To the top of the skull dome. I guess Big Mom is charged because she has Prometheus and Zeus out, so she's back in full force. So she didn't challenge Kaido yet, although they're teasing the seeds for the Sentient and a split. So this is where we get a pretty interesting comment from Big Mom. So Kaido, I don't care how many of you kill, but make sure to leave Nico Robin alive. This obviously ties into the poneglyph, and she's not waiting for Pudding to like awaken her third eye, which is a huge mistake because I still think the fact that Pudding could very well be a potential for reading the poneglyphs. I think someone like Blackbeard would benefit for having her in the crew, or at least kidnapping her. And speaking of kidnapping, there's been a lot of foreshadowing that Robin would be kidnapped. So the reason she wants Robin alive is because she is the only one that could read the poneglyphs. So
just to touch on a moment and add to what we saw with Ace and Yamato in this flashback, the fact we saw Izo and Marco and they're both on Wano right now, the parallels are there. I find it very, very ironic that we also saw Teach, who was mentioned in that flashback. He also mentioned Wano. He also mentioned about how strong Kazuki Odin was. I don't think that just to be just another coincidence. This increases the odds of Blackbeard showing up on Wano because he also has ties to Ace. But I just thought about it, and here's another scenario which could tie into the final fight with the Blackbeard Pirates and the Straw Hats. So one of the plot elements that I did mention about is how at the end of Whole Cake Island, it didn't seem to me like to be an ending for Sanji and Pudding. Like, it felt like a farewell, but there's also some foreshadowing as to a reunion between the two because Sanji addressed Pudding by name, so he didn't forget about her. So it wasn't his memories was erased. I said this many times after the review in the anime. I mentioned this for a reason because final farewell. I still think there's a chance that Vinsmos could show up again. We'll have to wait and see. But point is, this could be an opportunity to showcase, because you don't highlight the fact that Pudding has an ability to read the poneglyphs if it's not going to have an impact on the story. There's no reason for it. So it could be a possibility of where Blackbeard was, and I can totally see him doing this, and I've mentioned this before. First off, Big Mom has a raw poneglyph. So, like, steal that, because if he can read the poneglyph or find somebody who can, it benefits him too. Also, at the same time, kidnap Pudding. And can you imagine if Blackbeard does end up showing up on Wano and not only reveals the fact that, hey, I'm here to take you down, Kaido, not only if Kaido does fall in this arc and to take his devil fruit and have a third and final devil fruit, but also reveal the fact, hey, I also went to Whole Cake Island, Big Mom, and guess what I found? Teach kidnapping Pudding. And can you imagine the impact that would have on Sanji? Because if Sanji hasn't forgotten about Pudding and he sees this, knowing how he feels about women, that could motivate Sanji in the final fight. I'm just throwing it out there. It could amount to nothing, but I do find it interesting that Teach was also shown in this flashback alongside with Izo and Marco and Whitebeard.
So we actually get one of the most adorable moments from Big Mom yet. She said, "Don't belittle me now. I still think of you as a little brother," in Kaido. So there's a lot of history between Kaido and Big Mom. And to be honest, I honestly thought we were going to go into a Rocks flashback, a God Valley flashback, which I would totally be on board for. So Kaido threatens to drop the island. So he's going to drop the island. There's going to be no accident. Like Kaido is literally attempting to drop this on the Flower Capital. So Kaido has to be defeated before that happens. So there's a time limit now. Very similar to how there was a birdcage in Dressrosa with Doflamingo and Luffy. So there you go. But we get one of the most important parts of the chapter when we have on the day of the God Valley incident when the rocks fell to ruin. I was the one that Big Mom apparently is the one that gave Kaido the mythical type fish fruit. So that's the devil fruit of Kaido. Before the chapter ends, Big Mom does also ask Kaido about the raw poneglyph. I knew it. I knew it from the jump. That's what Big Mom was after, the raw poneglyph. Kaido doesn't answer. Instead, he gives the response like, "Is it too soon for you to show your true colours?" So he's fully aware about what's going on here. Of things, the fact that he's in attention now, it probably means something's going to happen within the final fight, because there has to be a reason why Big Mom is there. The other thing is, I think it's dead set now because with Ace and what Yamato stated to Ace, that she wants to leave Wano. She wants to set out on the world and see the world, much like Odin did. I think there's too many parallels for it not to happen. So Yamato goes with the Straw Hats because there's so many parallels with Luffy and Ace. I think it makes sense. Like I said, I think we ought to jump the gun a little bit and assuming that Kaido fought Ace. At least I did. So that didn't happen, but we did get the connection with Yamato and Ace, which is just as good because it ties into what's going on right now. Setting the stage for perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest, chapter in One Piece history, 1000 on the horizon. I thought it was a great chapter with a lot of information. The reveal of Kaido's devil fruit and the fact that Big Mom was the one that gave Kaido that devil fruit. I think it should have been obvious, but I guess sometimes it's the simplest things that turn out to be the most shocking. So let's have to wait and see. Maybe 1000 will kickstart the Kaido flashback. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's going to do it for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. Hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. It helps out the channel with these reviews. Subscribe to have more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.